Donald Trump has told a rally at a US steel plant in Pennsylvania that he intends to double US steel import tariffs to 50%. The president said the increase would offer the country's steel industry more security and vowed to stop any countries getting around the new rate. The White House said the higher levies would take effect next week. It comes after a federal appeals court granted the temporary suspension of a lower court's trade ruling that the bulk of Mr. Trump's global tariffs were illegal.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that.
Our North America correspondent Jake Wan is following developments.
For several weeks, it appeared that Mr. Trump was climbing down from his tariffs regime, either lowering the tariffs or suspending them to give room to strike deals with trading partners. But this sudden announcement at the steel mill in Pennsylvania, it appears Mr. Trump is reigniting the trade war with countries, not only China, but his allies too. We heard from Canada and Australia quickly denouncing this latest tariff. We heard from a trade minister of Australia calling it economic self-harm. And Mr. Trump is promising that this tariffs will save America's steel industry from what he calls shoddy steel from Shanghai. The increased cost of importing this steel will likely be passed on to American consumers, and it could even set off another round of retaliation from other countries. I mean, China has been negotiating with America since the two sides have slapped astronomical amount of tariffs on each other. And earlier this month, they have had a breakthrough in negotiation in Geneva where both sides have decided to bring down the tariffs to manageable levels. But what we heard in the last 24 hours is that two sides pointing fingers at each other, accusing the other side of breaking the promises. So for China, the #1 steel manufacturer in the world, this news from Pennsylvania won't be taken kindly.
And where are we now in terms of the court process with these appeals? Because that's been quite a confusing picture as well in the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Exactly. For the last few days, we heard the back and forth between courts. So several days ago, a court in Manhattan have ruled that Mr. Trump's Liberation Day tariffs on each countries around the world is in fact illegal and suspended Mr. Trump's ability to bring them down again in July. And we also heard from the federal appeals court now suspending that. So while the tariffs on each country is illegal, Mr. Trump is continuing to collect fees on the tariffs. So it's a little confusing, but that lawsuit did not concern itself with these tariffs on specific industry. So industries like steel, aluminium, and automobile were not impacted by that court order. So it really feels like Mr. Trump is defying the court as well as defying China with one free hand he still has. So slapping tariffs like steel is still one tool in his toolbox that he's now bringing out and using it to relitigate this trade war.
Now, many businesses have been talking about the uncertainty caused by the changes in tariffs. What do we expect the fallout to be economically from this latest round?
Many companies will have a more difficult time because the steel prices, it has already gone up more than 15% since President Trump came into power. And we're expecting it to rise even further. And the global trade network is quite complicated. And this increased tariffs on trade is expected to go into effect just 1 week in the future. So it's going to be a very difficult time for these companies and these countries around the world to scramble to deal with this latest news, which was really a surprise to everybody. And what we're expecting is this market, which was expecting this tariffs regime to wind down and maybe even go away soon. So the market has been buoyed a little bit, but come Monday, we'll have to see how this market reacts to this added uncertainty. And uncertainty is surely bad for business.